Raw's reunion was in Tampa, Florida tonight, and we start the show off with John Cena making his way to the ring. He says he's happy to be a part of the Raw reunion, and he talks about how this is his home, and this meant as much as him to him right now as much as it meant as day one. And as soon as he mentions day one, the Usos come out, and immediately they're trying to goat him into being the basic thugonomics John Cena. And eventually it happens. John Cena does the rap gimmick. He rips into them. He makes fun of their mug shots and how was it, being arrested. That was actually pretty funny. But I don't know if it's something you really should be joking about. Eventually the Usos bring out their dad, Rikishi. He makes his way to the ring. He does the dance, and then they're interrupted by the Revival, who come out with Devon Dudley, and eventually you get a tag team match. You have Revival against the Usos, and Revival have Devon in their corner, and the Dudleys have, the Usos have their father Rikishi in their corner. I'm getting it all mixed up. Bubba Ray Dudley, Bully Ray, he didn't want to be on the show. He declined. There were several stars who declined. Jim Ross is another guy who declined to be on the show too. It was pretty cool that they brought them out. You got to hear the Too Cool music again. And one thing it did remind me of was that Brian Christopher's passed away, actually over a year ago now. We haven't seen much from Scotty Too Hotty in a while, but it did bring up some bad memories that he passed away not too long ago. Anyway, we get that match. So before we actually get the match, we show Hulk Hogan and Jimmy Hart, and Hogan's cutting a promo. Now we go back after a commercial, and Booker T comes out, and this is going to be like WrestleMania when they bring out all the legends to do commentary. So Booker's out for commentary. You have the Usos against the Revival. Usos with the win here. Decent match, and it kind of felt like an ordinary Raw match. I didn't necessarily feel like this is really a special show yet, and especially in the first couple hours. We go backstage, we show Alicia Fox, and she's talking to Dana Brooke, and she's talking about hats, and then someone comes, and I didn't even realize who this was, but it was Caitlyn, Celeste Bondon, that's her real name, Caitlyn. She comes and she talks to him, and I guess she has half her head kind of cut, a lot of girls do that, half her head shaved. And she interacts with them, and then you have Tori Wilson shows up, and Alicia and Tori embrace, and you have Santino Marella, and it's kind of rolled my eyes when I saw Santino. And he brings out the Cobra, and eventually you have Drew McIntyre intervene, and he gets pissed off. Then when we go to a commercial, we come back and we see Charlie Caruso backstage, and she's with R-Truth and Carmella, and I'm so sick of these two with this damn gimmick belt. It sucks. Charlie asks R-Truth about his appearance at Comic-Con this past Friday, and they show what happened. They show the two roll-ups looked horrible. And then you have Renee Michelle, Drake Maverick's wife, show up, and is pissed. She's pissed off that Truth ruined her. He ruined her wedding and her honeymoon and her husband's life. And all of a sudden, Drake Maverick rolls up R-Truth and gets a 3 count. And R-Truth is shocked. Carmella is shocked. By the way, Carmella looks great. I have to say that. And then we go back to Charlie, and she is serenaded, basically, by the Godfather, who makes his appearance on the show, and he talks about the Ho Train. Next, you have Drew McIntyre against Cedric Alexander in the ring. Drew is still pissed off what happened. Drew just kills Cedric before the match starts. Absolutely slaughters him. Hits an Alabama slam to the apron. We go backstage, and we see Eric and Ivar getting ready for action. They show Drake Maverick in the back, and he has an interaction with the Boogeyman, and then all of a sudden, he falls down because he's so scared. Pat Patterson comes up out of nowhere, and he pins Drake Maverick, so Pat Patterson gets the title just like the hardcore title. I think he pinned Crash Holly. Wasn't when Crash Holly was sleeping or something. We go back to the arena, and they show Christian, who is joining the announce booth for the next match. You have Lynn and Garcia out, and we have the War Raiders against Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder. War Raiders kill them, as they should. They go backstage, and if there's a reunion party, they show Mike Kanellis and Maria, and Maria's ripping into Mike. Mike was talking to Eve Torres, who looked great, by the way, and Eric Bischoff was also there too, and he mentioned SmackDown. And Maria ripping into Mike. It's just kind of what they're gonna do. And after she's done ripping into him, there were several legends there. Jimmy Hart was there. Then Ron Simmons shows up. He takes Jimmy Hart's microphone and he yells, "Damn," into the microphone. Samoa Joe's walking in the back. He comes out. Then they show Gallows and Anderson with AJ in the back. Charlie Caruso interviews them. Kind of a boring promo. Then they go backstage and they show the Stooges. It's Patterson, Briscoe. And all of a sudden, Kelly shows up. She makes her appearance and then she knees Patterson, and then Briscoe reveals he has his referee shirt on. Kelly pins Pat 1, 2, 3, and knees Jerry. Jerry pinned. I got that wrong. Jerry pinned Pat, and they showed Pat on the ground after Jerry pinned him. They couldn't show him taking a bump. Jerry pinned Pat, and then Kelly comes and knees Jerry Briscoe and pins Jerry. So Kelly's the 24/7 champion. Joe cuts a long promo, goes on for a while. Roman Reigns interrupts him, and then it goes on, and they mention their Samoan heritage. Roman's upset, he's making fun of his family or whatever. They don't really mention The Rock, so no Rock on the show either. It goes on for a while. Eventually, you get Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe. They have a match. Reigns pins Joe clean in the middle of the ring. I don't know why they don't have anything for Samoa Joe. Maybe it's his age and his injuries, but nothing much for him. Reigns just pins him cleanly. They show The Miz backstage making his way to Miz TV. Miz mentions the return of his new show, Miz and Mrs., before he brings out Seth Rollins, and I call him Seth Cringe. Seth Rollins is a geek. He is a loser. He is a bum. I do not take this guy seriously. He is so uncool. He is just not someone who has any personality, just not a good baby face. I think the guy is a geek, especially when you saw him with the Legends. I just think he's a geek and a loser. I don't find him entertaining at all. I don't think he's good on the mic. I'm just not a fan of Seth Rollins. Paul Heyman came out. There's no Brock on the show, but Paul came out. He mentioned Seth cashing in at WrestleMania 31, and Seth calls Brock Lesnar a Seth freaking Rollins wannabe. Are you kidding me? Brock Lesnar is a Seth Rollins wannabe. Heyman laughs it off. And then he comes out. Rollins threatens him, and he chases him to the back. Rollins goes on for a wild promo about the match with Brock. It's not a good promo at all. I hope Brock beats him easily. And he says he talks about his match later on the show with AJ Styles. They show Charlie Caruso back in the party room, and she's with all the legends. Yeah, Tori Wilson there too. All of them are there. I think she was interacting with some of the other ones. I think Dana Brooke was still there. A lot of the women were there. Caitlyn. And Sami Zayn interrupts, and Sami calls them all losers. He talks about the Attitude Era, and they're all just here for a reaction. And then all of a sudden, Rey Mysterio comes, and he says they should show some respect. And Kurt Angle says, when I was GM, I made matches, and he sends them to the ring. So we have Rey and Sami Zayn. We go to backstage, and we see Kelly interacting with Candice Michelle, Melina, and Naomi. Naomi was there seeing them, and all three of them look great. Kelly looks great, Candice Michelle looks great, and Melina looked great too. Candice Michelle wearing a great revealing outfit, I have to say. So her and Kelly, they have an interesting history together. If anyone remembers that classic Extreme Expose with Kelly, her and Candice Michelle almost had like this lesbian scene. They danced together. Candice kind of was the one leading her. She was kind of the dominant one. It looked like they were about to kiss before Kelly's boyfriend, that asshole, ruined it. But that was definitely a very memorable part of ECW when they first brought it back, was Kelly and Candice Michelle's striptease. You can look it up on YouTube. It has thousands of views, maybe a million views. Anyway, Candice surprises, and she knees Kelly. She beats up Kelly. Kelly pins Kelly. 1, 2, 3. We see Kelly's ass, and Melina was the one who took her revealed she was wearing a referee shirt, and she made the 3 count. And I think Melina and Candice Michelle used to hate each other. That's actually kind of funny, because I remember hearing they did not like each other at all. I remember there was heat. Anyway, all of a sudden you have Alundra Blaze come out. She chokes out Candice Michelle. Candice Michelle taps out, and Melina still had the referee shirt, so she counted it. Alundra Blaze is the champion, and she says she won't be champion for long. I see what was probably going to happen next. They bring out Jonathan Coachman. He doesn't have the old douchebag coach theme music. It's some boring theme music. So you have Rey Mysterio and Sami Zayn. So during the match, Sami's about to leave, but all of a sudden you saw several legends come out. You have RVD, Rob Van Dam makes his way to the ring. Then you have Sergeant Slaughter. Then you have the Hurricane. Then you have Kurt Angle. They come to the ring, stalk Sami, and then Rey hits Sami with his finisher. He gets the 3 count. They celebrate with Rey Mysterio when Sami Zayn gets his comeuppance. They show a limo arriving, and it's Nature Boy Ric Flair. Then they show Montez Ford with Angelo Dawkins. I'm not really a big fan of this anymore. I think this is kind of boring. Alundra Blaze makes her way to the ring. She brings the 24/7 title. She teases throwing it into the trash can. All of a sudden, Ted DiBiase's music hits. He offers her a whole bunch of money, and Ted DiBiase is now your new 24/7 champion. Took the belt, bought it just like he bought it from Andre the Giant, the tag team title. From Andre the Giant, that Andre once called the tag team title. So you have AJ Styles and Seth Rollins. You had a decent match, but Rollins wins by DQ after the club gets involved. After the match, AJ tries, before the DQ, actually, that's when you had Triple H and Shawn Michaels come out to Seth's aid. Eventually, Seth gets DQ'd, but after the match, AJ tries to get them to do the 2-sweet with him, but then Triple H and Shawn tease it, and they hit the suck it, and they beat up the club. They kick their ass with Seth Rollins. They lay him out, and they sell. And then you have Road Dogg, X-Pac, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash all come out. I guess you had to get Hall and Nash. You had to merge NWO and DX. Boy, those guys looked old, especially Hall. It was kind of sad. But no Billy Gunn, obviously, for obvious reasons. Road Dogg cuts a bad promo, goes on for a while, and eventually they celebrate, or they embrace Seth Rollins. He gives them the mic, and Seth tells them to suck it. So they tried to get Seth over. They show Mick Foley backstage with Mark Henry. Then we go backstage, and we see Ted DiBiase laughing as he gets into his limo, and then all of a sudden you hear some commotion in the limo. He loses his belt. Drake Maverick pins him. He takes his title. Drake Maverick is the champion again. Then you have all the Benny Hill guys. They all chase Drake Maverick away. Mick Foley comes out. He talks about Tampa. And by the way, Tampa is the home of WrestleMania next year. So this is actually a good way to do the show. You have a same city that you're going to do the biggest show of the year next year. Mick Foley mentions the 24/7 tell you if all the losers come out. They chase Drake Maverick. All of a sudden, you have Bray Wyatt come out with the scary mask. This was awesome. This was a great promo. He puts him in the mandible claw. This was a great promo, great way to build up Bray as a monster heel. Got a lot of heat. This was really good. Up next, we go to a commercial, and we have Alexa Bliss come out. She lightens us with her beauty. She looks great as always. She's with Nikki Cross. Then Becky comes out as her guest. Then Natalya immediately interrupts Becky, and Alexa and Nikki are just in the background here. Becky and Natalya battle. They have a huge brawl, and they get split up soon. So just a way to set up their match. Not much here. Backstage, they show Charlie Caruso interviewing Natalya, and she vows to get the belt from Nikki. Next, what am I going to say? Drake Maverick, he's in the limo, and R-Truth rolls him up, and R-Truth jumps into the limo with Drake's wife, Renee Michelle. They ride off, and then Drake sees Carmella, and he just kind of hits on her. I don't know if they're going to do a reverse, and they split each couple up. I'm not sure. So Braun Strowman kills Randy Rowe, and this was strange. I don't know. Corey Graves basically said Cody Rhodes or Brandy Rhodes. That's what happened, and he was just laughing it off. It was so awkward. This was really weird. So finally, the main event segment, we have all the legends. You have all the legends come out on stage, and you have Ric Flair come out. Then you have Hulk Hogan come out. He cuts his promo, does the whole "What you gonna do, brother?" Then Stone Cold Steve Austin comes out. He goes to the ring. He calls everyone their family, all the fans' family, all the wrestlers' family, all the cameramen family. He embraces the crowd. Awesome. Austin was probably the best part here. It's always great seeing Austin back. Fans going crazy for Stone Cold Steve Austin. He brings everyone in the ring. They all drink beer. All the legends share beer together. Austin mentioned he's into a podcast with Hogan. I'll definitely listen to it. I'm really interested in that. And it ends with Austin's music playing as we celebrate the Raw reunion with a good